Conscious participation. What is that? Well, we've talked about pressure, the pressure we feel, pressure we feel bubbling up inside. We've talked about the patterns that are attached to that pressure, and those are the ways that we react and feel and then do. And then we just talked about awareness. Awareness is that pause between the space of reacting and that space of recognizing you have a new choice. You don't have to react the way that you always have. And now, once we paused and we come to this new awareness, what do we do? Well, the question is, you have to ask yourself some questions first. Is the story, is this pattern, the way that I normally react, true? In my case, we were talking about my messy house and everybody in it leaving a mess. And I had to ask myself a couple questions. I had to ask myself, is it true that I have to do something right now, in this moment? Do I have to stop everything? Do I have to pick everything up? Well, no. Okay, another question. Do I have to pick everything up? Well, no, this isn't my mess. I need to teach my kids how to pick up after themselves. So if I keep doing it, how do they ever learn? Okay. Do I have to feel this way? No. There's many other ways I could feel about the situation. I get to choose. So this is the process I'd like you to go through. Question what is going on in your reactions, the feelings, the doing, how you just jump in possibly, or how you maybe back off and withdraw. All of this should be questioned because then conscious participation can begin when awareness dawns. We have that pause, we took our breath, we recognize we have a new choice. That's when we're consciously participating, when we choose whether to stay in the pattern and do as we've always done, because that is a choice, or we can choose something new. For me, it was, I'm going to walk up to the person and just say, hey, can you go pick this up? It's, I'm going to smile when I see it, because I also know that in like 4 or 5 years, some of my children are going to be gone. And this time will be totally different in how my house is going to be. And I might actually miss the mess. This is the moments where you get to kind of rehearse some different scenarios in your mind. Use that mind for some new creativity. What could you do that's so different than your norm that could create the state of being that you're really looking to live in all day long, or at least as much of it as you can? Play with it. Be playful. You might have many different reiterations of how you're going to approach a different way of being instead of the old way you react. I hope you find this actually fun, because in a way, you get to be kind of childlike with it. And in our childlike, you could say, state of being, we see new ways. We're able to be really creative and think outside of our box, break down the walls, what we think has to be, and recognize that anything is possible.